Morning, everyone. This is Dr. Mia Lueth. Today is star date 11/7/2022. It's 8:20 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, and um, I have therapy appointment at uh, 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna do quick. Uh, a few inexpensive things that are good to keep in handy, not only for emergencies, but in case you run out of fresh veggies, or if you live further away from grocery stores, or if you just don't really like going outside the house for some reason. Um, I got these Mother Earth dried bell peppers. They're freeze dried. So what I'm going to say is a little bit of the nutrition is obviously not there anymore. It does kind of lose that. But on, like, for me, standing and chopping and doing a lot of things for people who can't stand and chop, I, I'm trying to set up a situation where I can, like, have a chair or a stool, something, so I can, like, do things in the kitchen more. But this comes in handy. And so if I make anything that, any kind of sauce or any kind of anything, uh, just this adds some vegetables and minerals. The carbs are kind of high, but um, there's no added sugar. And if you're only going to be using like a little bit, then you know the carb count is probably not going to be that bad. But it does provide, you know, actual nutritious um, vegetables and minerals, and it's easy as all get out. If you're putting them in sauce, you don't need to add water. They just and for any kind of soup or chili, or um, especially this time of year, I like having them because if I can't get to the store and get fresh, or I have, I'm tired or some other kind of thing, and it's just going to be way too much effort and energy, these things, and they will last a long time. You got to make sure the jar is shut as tight as you can, but it says it only lasts so long. I mean, what they're saying is, let me see, expiration date 12/10/23. So, I mean, I still have a good year, and likely probably a little more. But like, this to me was worth the money, because then I have like extra vegetables I can put in something. I put them on pizza. Um, if I eat pizza, yeah, it just adds a little taste and vegetable goodness. It's not quite like fresh, but it still contains nutritional value. Uh, and then teas that I found that have been good at nighttime for people with pain issues, which I have. Uh, the That's on the cheap. Um, this celestial seasoning, ginger and probiotics. Um, my gut is kind of messed up, and so I get probiotics anyway, because I'm a yogurt eater and other kind of things. But sometimes just there's the ginger and probiotics one is different from any of the other celestial seasonings, because the ingredient, well, ginger's good for a lot of things anyway, but the ingredients, cinnamon, licorice, cardamom, hawthorn, turmeric, and it's the turmeric and that and the ginger that help with a little bit of the pain to help sleep. So it does make me sleepy. I used to drink sleepy time all the time, but now my health has changed a little bit, and so this one does actually make me tired. So it's like for nighttime. For if you have pain problems, this might help before going to sleep. It's not like a pill, but it does have probiotics. So, you know, I don't know. You need to talk to your doctor about it, but maybe if you're not sure, or somebody who knows way more than I do. But this one does help me sleep. And then this other one, and that's on the cheap. Okay, and then the T Vive Herbal Fusions Chamomile, which this one I think is just $1.25 tree plus tax. Uh, yeah, but you get a good amount, and this is good for nighttime, daytime. Like it's enough chamomile to kind of settle the nerves, just which during the day, instead of drinking all the time coffee, which I portion my coffee out. Um, uh-oh. Yeah, I'm getting tremors. Uh, anyway, for on the cheap, for healthy, like just substitute one other kind of tea or one other kind of beverage, coffee, anything once a day. This is good for daytime because it's not like heavy duty chamomile. Um, it's enough for like just to settle and calm a little bit, takes the edge off. And so, but it's generally good for your body. And so, drinking one of these a day at some point might help with your circadian rhythm too. But again, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor yet. I don't know which direction I'm going with that. I don't know if I'm going to go in that direction right now. Things are on hold for me. So, but for the price though, and the availability, because anytime I go into $1.25 trees, there's usually this kind of T5, and so I try to make sure I have something with turmeric in it because turmeric is a good natural sort of eases the muscles and reduces inflammation. So, talk to people about it. I mean, I'm just saying for me personally, I know that the ginger and probiotics actually does make me a little bit sleepy. And it's like, I don't know, it's like a little heavier um, than the other, than chamomile. I don't know why, and that might just be me, but I definitely get how even relaxing for sleep, which is awesome. Um, but yeah, I had to get used to the taste, but still. But chamomile can be, or chamomile, however you like to say it, can be used day or night, but it's really, really good for just calming the nerves just a little bit. Sometimes that's all you need in a day is like just, you know what I mean? Right. But maybe when you drink your tea is when you go. And you can make cold tea. So these are for people who have really tight budgets or who are saving for something in the future. Um, also great for camping. If you're, one of the wilderness livers out there, you probably won't see this ever because you're somewhere remotely trying to get away from people and enjoying the nature. But yes, these are good for. You can like take it out and you can vacuum seal with a straw. Okay, yes, you can put a straw in bags and then suck out the air yourself. And like for longer trips, and it even you could actually, if you really needed to, put it in your mouth like chaw. I'm not kidding. Okay, your saliva can activate. Um, but this is another thing, maybe for the people trying to get off the cigarettes. Yeah, yeah, me too. Okay, but I know it's gonna happen. Okay, I mean I'm sure of it, but I understand. Mm. But sometimes replacement therapy or other kind of things, some people say gum or whatever. But veggie lovers, instead of like a beef stick or something, this can also give you a little bit of energy too. It's totally vegetarian. It's kosher. It's non-GMO, and it tastes a good bit like pepper, like a pepper. It doesn't taste like fresh off the vine, but you can use it instead of smoking a cigarette if you're a vegetarian for sure. And if you love veggies, it might work for replacement therapy. Or if you're camping and you just want, or you're hiking, mm, instead of like jaw or chew, this is right. And I sometimes will have like a hearty beef stick, like Slim Jim, but the heartier kind. Sometimes when I go out, well, when I used to go out hiking and doing all those things, because yeah, you can take like one bite and just kind of chew it and let it kind of releases energy as you go. Um, and yeah, I've got something in my mouth. I'm not likely to smoke a cigarette, right? And um, it's there's the sodium, but I track my sodium really well. I don't have a choice, so I get that extra sodium kick. It's not going to kill me, but for vegetarians who like to hike and you like the taste of, yes. I mean, like I said, it doesn't taste like fresh, like biting into one where you get right at the farm stand or anything. So, but it is also good for that. Or if you're trying to get off some kind of something and you need something in your mouth that's better for you than whatever it was. Yeah. So it was worth whatever I paid. I'm thinking it was probably around $12, but I'm not really sure. Okay, so I gotta hurry because I have therapy. Uh, yeah. So, oh yeah, I'm not necessarily political, but I do vote. I mean, I check in with stuff around the election cycles. Just some of it's just so much, yeah, horse pucky that I kind of just, like there's only so much BS I can wade through. So I kind of stay a little away from politics. Not politicians, maybe, because I've been a few decent people, seem like. Right. But I got this in the mail, and since I live in Cecil County, okay, I'm just putting this out there, okay, for Cecil County people or anybody in that. This one, I'm just gonna hold up simply because it does say that the teachers recommend this group of people, and so when teachers recommend somebody, you know what I'm saying? I myself am inclined to at least like consider and look at some things, right? But it's just that it was in my mailbox. Um, I just, in case any Elton people are unsure, don't know, I got to be honest. If to me personally, knowing that teachers in the county actually, there's probably more than one. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I mean, it may not be every teacher. I get it, but teachers need every kind of upper hand they can get sometimes, and so just don't forget to vote either Elton, Maryland. I mean, like that helps. So, um, yeah, I mean that's just something to consider. So, I saw this and I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, I can look up some. I still have a little time to, look through some things. It's just first of all a reminder, um, at least in Cecil County, um, try to vote. Like, try to get your vote in, whatever it might be. There was a write-in. That's the other thing. People may not realize elections. I know in U.S. presidential elections, I've written in. Okay, so I know that is a possibility. But apparently, yep, we got a write-in. Phyllis Gilby and Joyce Bowlesby. Sorry. Okay, I don't know. I know these people, but there is apparently write-ins. Yes, I guess every ballot place in the U.S., but I can't say for sure. I just know write-ins are possible too. So that's a hard ticket right there, right? If you're a write-in, you know what I mean. So I will personally, because I live in Cecil County, maybe check for some things, but it is important to, no matter what anybody might think about anything, one, and get somebody out of the house for like a hot second, and two, if you really have feelings one way or another, you know use your chance to vote, because there you, like, clear conscious went in. This is you know something that I can generally handle as a resident, you know what I mean, right? So at least in my county, at least try. So yeah, I have a ride and everything. So, um, but it's never a wasted vote. So I know a lot of people who want to say that tempers will, yes, heighten this time of year and election cycles. There's election cycles in other what do you call it, countries too, but I'm trying to avoid the frenzy because as a U.S. voter, I'm registered as independent, and mostly that's simply because just I do. Sometimes it's just like, I don't care what party's saying what. It's are, are we all aiming toward slightly better USA? Because slightly better USA, you understand, if everybody wants to go with the U.S., if everybody wants to go with the U.S. president is a leader of the free world, okay, then yes, slightly better world in general. Okay, but I may be an idealist, but I'm totally aware of human activity, misunderstandings, people having very raised up very differently, and so And just for me, I'm okay with, the more seasoned, whatever, activists or people who are trying to really push. I'm okay for with those people deciding for me in the primary. Some people may not be okay with that because in the state of Maryland, well, the last time I checked anyway, if you are registered as an independent, you can't vote in the primaries. But I'm okay with that. Okay, so if you want to be a registered independent, you need to be okay with the fact that, right, you're not going to be voting and deciding. And I'm okay with that because I know that the people who are most serious and most involved and most, yeah, well, some might say passionate, but some might say angry, might determined. You know what I'm saying? Some might call them bullies. It doesn't, you know what I'm getting at, right? Those people are closer to the issues than I am. So, yes, I, as an independent voter in the state of Maryland, don't mind if, right, like that I don't vote in the primaries, because I just trust the back and forth that happens with, the primaries. Right. I mean, I do trust that. I don't think my government's like completely, you know, right, like derailed or corrupt or any of, no, I doubt it. Okay, it's just uh I do at least participate in that way. But for those Maryland voters, um certain states have different rules and regs. Okay, people who aren't from the US and you may be looking to move or you want to, I don't know, whatever. If you're going to be new to the US anytime and you plan on staying or you plan on working, I don't know how the voter thing goes, but that's something that maybe people from other countries may or may not have. But in the US, all US citizens need to understand all the states have their own personal like rules and regs about voting. Okay. So what I'm saying in the state of Maryland, there is the possibility to register as it's called unaffiliated on my my card. Okay, but it's means independent because I think it used to be called independent, but whatever. Okay, I let the people who are much closer to those issues, yep, hammer it out, and so I don't mind not voting in the primaries. But if you want to vote in the primaries, don't register as unaffiliated, is all. So that's why I made the personal decision because sometimes, yes, I get it. Like states need certain amount of, I get that there is that push and pull all the time anyway, right? And so I, I don't get as riled up as some people do. But I'm not trying to tell somebody you can't like feel very, you know, determined or, like maybe even pushy in at least U.S. major elections because I understand that some issues are just so very important to people. So, right, for me, the only thing I can say is, and I'm just going to say this the Second Amendment, which I was going to look it up. Oh, I got to stop. I was going to look it up. But I will say that, I mean, the exact words, but I have lived in places where if you don't have a firearm, you can't dispatch an animal who needs that. Um, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there was at one point a situation with a deer, and I saw it right in front of my face, and that thing, no way, was still kind of, but not okay. And I was so upset because I didn't have a firearm, and someone else stopped and they didn't have a firearm. So we both just took turns because it had gotten off to the side of the road, and then we kind of, yeah. So we both just took turns running it over because that was the only way we could think quickly to just, yeah, man, put that poor thing at peace. So just for animals alone, and some will attack, some sometimes it's you might live in an area where you never get an animal attack, but sometimes they get rabies or they get hungry or they get confused. So, and I also understand if you have large property and there are places where like there's only like one sheriff's office, but they like cover like you know 100 square miles, and there aren't, right? So sometimes also defense of property, or at least the threat to warn. But nobody forget to have the conversation about how quick it is with a firearm if you're depressed or you're drunk. Okay? And so even to people who have illegal firearms in the US, even you guys, you all, right? Like, look out for your buddies and your people and you know what I'm saying? Right? Even the ones that have illegal, right? I'm not law enforcement, so, well, all I can say, even those kinds, like the NRA, everybody, just have more heightened awareness. And if your friends are all like drinking or on a bender and there's just been nothing but tears or whatever, make sure they don't have a firearm, please. Okay? But I have to go, so I have to get ready. And I have been feeling a little better. Like I said, I know there was activity this around 4 o'clock this morning, but by the time I got up, I couldn't. Yeah, but it like by the time because I could hit. What I did was set up a computer that's right near my bed, so that if I'm in that sleep stage, that I just hit a button, so it's not like a complicated. I'm still trying to work on that, but the live stuff at night is ramping up, and I can still feel something or other. And I know my neighbor's getting affected, but I can't really live camera her. You understand? You see, so there's stuff coming, but I still would appreciate wherever paranormal lead researcher who's a male, and I say this again because I think that females are being attacked, and that's the only thing that I can really say, and I'm worried about that. But right, with equipment, because I know that there's there's some equipment that paranormal investigators would likely use. Whoever has time immediately, you understand, and just read the last 3 weeks. I'm trying to make notes, but I still need help. I really don't want to be alone in here until there's a little more clarity also. But for research, and yes, this, I can tell like out of the corners of my eyes, and sometimes I can tell like when something is close to me, and it could just be an energy. I'm not saying ghosts. All I'm saying is it is definitely unique and anomalous. So I'll be putting a couple of my boxes that I made back up because to sell on Etsy. And I do have, these are donated jelly jars, but these are the collectible kind. Um, and so I have a jar. They're like Disney, uh, and Tom and Jerry, and things like that. And who's that? Donald Duck. That's Disney. I have a box full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. It looks like 12. Okay, and they're all in very good condition. Um, Someone donated to them, and I kept a couple because they're just so cute. Yes, free glasses, But yeah, I kept the Pokemon ones. So yes, we'll see if I'm expecting visitors. I need to have more than one cup or glass in the house. So that's turned out, and I'm very grateful to um, individuals who did drive to me and donate things in the local area because it's been helpful, and not just to me but quite a few others. So um, remember, one deep breath. I did update this description, and Super Max the hamster. I have his. I'm gonna. I figure. I mean, I know how to put his old plastic world together, but I now have him in a larger box, and he's got more exercise, and he has to, you know, he's still biting me though. Yeah, well, he'll go without. I mean, he kind of like, I'm not sure I want you petting me, but after a while, then he's like, oh, well, maybe it's okay. So, but I'm used to getting his bites. It's not really something somebody should try to do is get a hamster to bite you. He's just, yes, it's been moved around a bit, but his like exploring range, yes, the box is bigger, so he's got like more exercise and exploring range. But he's been like, I've been just down looking at him. I get close to him, and well, close enough so he doesn't bite, and he uh, doesn't run away now. So yes, I want to make sure that anybody who handles Max gets a friendly Max. Um, so might take a little time, but there is someone who has asked that I really not talk to too many people. So I'm doing that. Yeah. Um, and you know, uh, I don't know. I do therapy, everybody. So I know that there's some people might think that's like some kind of weakness, or there's some kind of great, you get dependent on it. Well, not if you have an excellent, not if you have someone who's good at what they do. Okay, there's so many things I've heard just coming out of the mouths of people that are so not even close to correct, that it's just like, but it starts becoming harmful. Okay, and like I said, that becomes an issue. So for me personally, I can prove harm like nobody's business. Okay, but this situation, trust me, like, I'm on top of it, but I can't do this properly without proper uh, equipment. So some of it I could probably wrangle. I mean, I can MacGyver when I need to. You know what I mean? But yeah, then there's more chance of equipment failure and blah blah blah. So I still need assistance on that. But I'm not saying this happened, but I'm saying the males in Cecil County, some of them, right, um, need to just, if you're in certain situations, yeah, I'm not here for dates. Get it? And I'm not a prostitute, and I can be friendly, but mm-mm. So I do. I can be sociable, But there's some people I won't be too sociable with because, right, they have, right. I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't, especially some of the males, just in general. One deep breath. Okay. Just anybody really has, you just don't know who to talk to. Okay. Uh, Talk to the walls if you need to. Okay. Right. Sometimes verbalizing is what's necessary. So try and help your own selves too, but don't stop asking for help. Please. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody.